I did a speed test because I was playing Destiny yesterday, and it was like, why the fuck are these Russians glitching all over the place? Like, don't tell me this is just the way it's going. And I couldn't work it out, and I was hitting people, and I fucking leveled this weapon up pretty much all the way. I mean, it should be pounding ass. That's right, I did say the weapon should be pounding ass.
Destiny is good at pounding ass. We figured that out from the first DLC.
Activision were good at pounding Bungie's ass by the look of things. and Sony had a fist in there too.
Man, there's a lot of ass pounding going on.
Seems to be the way.
We're losing money. Get more sheeple.
yeah. Create a 10-year plan. Get more sheeple. I'm not 100% sure about this conspiracy that's going on with the Bungie thing. I've read it and I've read it. I mean, I can understand why certain things are on disc.
The content is there to a degree, not finished. So things like your maps, well, the maps are all done. Most of the world is done, especially when they're just using the same old world that they already had to do just 3 more pieces of a story. So there's not much that you can sit there and say, oh, well, no, that wasn't there. They gave it to us when we bought it. No, it probably was there.
You go back in the rumor mill again. Some people have turned around and said, listen, do you not realize that you see a thrall here and a thrall here, but that's all you see in those bits that people have glitched into, because they're literally placeholder thralls, and that's used as a marking point for the start of where people are being placed behind it. And nobody's actually been able to go through those areas and say, oh yeah, no, there's more behind, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of, to me, it looks like a placeholder that's on the disc, and it makes the access for the new content to come in relevant.
Yeah, I mean, they're putting what they can or what they have finished on it, so they don't have to mess with it, and then they're just adding or changing whatever they need when it's finalized. I get that, and that's fine.
People have made a big deal about, did you see the pictures of the Destiny roadmap that were published, right?
Yeah.
You could look at it and go, oh, they're trying to rob people. Or you could look at it as a fairly sensible way of doing things. I mean, how many times did you get pissed off about having to reload the whole fucking client for Dust? You know, I mean, there is a substantial amount of new content in some respects in those downloads.
Yeah, you're basically paying for multiplayer stuff and then a bunch of weapons and armor.
I don't know what people were expecting. They must have locked it because they know what's coming in the next bit. It's like, no, this is a company that did turn around and say, we've got a 10-year idea of where we're going to go with it. So you would bookmark in your game up to a certain point where you were going to put this stuff. Otherwise, your 10-year... I mean, what are you going to do? Release the game on day one and go, right, now it's time to implement 10-year.
Well, they should know that, and I think that's the roadmap that you're seeing.
And that's why you've got those bits in the disc that are already built in. The paranoia, the tinfoil hat community in gaming is just unbelievable, and I used to be one of the world's worst, but I've just watched so many... I'm beginning to think like that nobody is ever going to be fucking pleased.
Well, I think it's a lot harder for people to accept the fact that they're going to pay a certain amount of money for really not what you're expecting. I think you got to change what you're expecting. You have to change the expectation from being, I want to buy a whole nother part of a game, to I want to buy some stuff to play with the game I've already got. Like, that's really what it comes down to. If you're willing to pay $15 to get content, and that's kind of, unfortunately now, instead of DLC, meaning like we're going to give you, you know, a whole new area and things to do and a whole new story that's actually relevant and like a good, 10-20 hours to play, if you're lucky. They don't do that. Now the content, DLC, downloadable content, is becoming literal. Like, you're only getting content for what you already have. Now what we're moving into is expansion packs. They're now going to separate the two. I think this is what Bungie is doing, is separating the two by saying, when we sell you DLC, that's exactly what we're doing, giving you content. When we sell you an expansion pack, it's exactly what we're doing, giving you new levels, new planets, new whatever.
How many of the extra maps, when we played Killzone 2, I bought, I think, all the extra maps on those because I loved them. Did you do the same?
Killzone 2, yes, I did. Killzone 3 is the one that I got the maps free through Plus, the Plus subscription. But yeah, Killzone 2, I bought all the maps. Now, they were only $6 for 2 maps. But
if you scale it back a bit and look at, everything else, I mean, you weren't getting the same quality and whatnot just because it wasn't there. It didn't exist. I mean, I still love all that shit, but I had never balked at buying maps for a game that I liked. I didn't call it an expansion pack, I didn't call it a DLC, I just called it another map pack. To me, it was good. I would never have bought one for Call of Duty because I thought it was shit. That's your choice.
Yeah, exactly. But you also knew what you were getting. When they sold you a $6 map, which I had no problem paying $6 for it, I knew it was 2 maps. And I was willing to do that. Now, when you look at Destiny and they don't tell you for a long time, oh, we're not real sure. Or they say, well, it's hard to explain what it's going to be. That's just a cop-out. It's not hard to explain what it is you're doing. $20 for items and 2 light levels. It's like, no, man, this is the kind of stuff that honestly should not be that expensive, or 2 should be included as an update. You know, not your map packs though. I get that. You want to add additional maps and stuff. That should be a charge for.
I don't know. I just think that I think the community aspect of this has got ridiculous now, where they expect so much, demand so much. I think they make a rod for their own back.